Warning, viewer discretion is advised. The information, thoughts, and opinions presented on this channel are solely those of the owner of this channel, and if you do not agree with them, then it is fine. We can all just agree to disagree. But since the owner of this channel lives in the United States of America, he is entitled to his own opinions and therefore will express them however he chooses. Also, please understand that you may end up in some legal trouble if you are the person or persons who is currently attempting to hack the Facebook account of the owner of this channel. And last of all, you may end up shot if you choose to approach the owner of this channel in person in a threatening manner. So now let's dive into this preview of my bigger video that I have upcoming, guys. I told you guys I'm working on a video, and I am. I'm working on a huge video, but it's going to require a lot of time and a lot of digging, and I realize that I'm not going to be able to get it out in 1 week because I'm going through hundreds and thousands of messages and screenshots that have been sent to me over the last 2 years about Noah's case on Facebook Messenger and in email. And I'm realizing that digging through it all is a monumental task. And I don't know what all I'm going to need for the video. Right now I have some ideas of the main 10 things that I'm wanting. But as I'm digging through the screenshots that have been sent to me, some I have never even seen before. Okay, I know you guys have in the Facebook groups. I'm not in the groups, but people send me stuff all the time. I haven't even looked at most of it yet. So I'm digging, and I'm gonna take what I need, okay, to make this video that's coming up that I promised you guys about the biggest clues in the Noah Presgrove case. Okay, and like I said, I think all the clues point to a specific person. Okay, and it could be multiple people, but it points at one person. Okay, so that's for a later video, but this is a preview. Okay, because I want to get this into your guys' head. And I know none of this is new, but since there's no witnesses that will come forward and give new info, even when the family's doing a wrongful death lawsuit and they're trying to get them to answer petitions and stuff, and they're not answering, okay, that's just where we're at in this case. Is the suspects and the party host and other kids that were there, they're not willing to talk, so there's no new info. So we're going to have to go back to the beginning of the case and just go with the information that we have, okay? And so here's the question that I want to leave you with right now to set the stage for my upcoming video, okay? Like I say, none of this is new, but we're going to look at it from a new angle. So the people that are responsible for Noah's death, because we all know that someone is, okay, and the people who staged his body on the side of the highway, here's the question for them. Okay, here's a question for you guys. Why was it so important for them to make sure, okay, that his shorts that he was wearing, which is right here, obviously, why was it so important to get rid of the shorts? Why was it so important to get rid of the hat that he's wearing? And this is just an example, okay? But I'm just showing all the evidence here. These 5 pieces of evidence. Why was it a must that they had to get rid of the shorts, had to get rid of the hat? Why did they have to separate him from his phone? Okay, because this, the story they're giving is bullshit. that he was on the phone with his girlfriend and then it was dead and his phone had to be put on the charger. That's bullshit. Because we all know, and I believe, that Noah really was asking for a ride home. I believe that. And he's not going to walk off, because they're making it look like he was walking towards Comanche. Okay? You're not going to leave your phone. Okay? They gave him a shower. Why? Okay? What were you trying to wash off? The little stick man that they drew on him and all of that. Okay? And here is the answer. You remove his hat, you remove his shorts, you separate him from his phone, you give him a shower, all for the obvious reasons. To eliminate evidence. You're eliminating DNA, you're eliminating the stick pictures because that would tie him back to the party house. Okay, you're eliminating sweat off of his body. Okay, but one thing you can't eliminate is, the injuries that he had to his body. Where he was bleeding from his head and mouth and ears and all that. You can't eliminate that. You can't wash that off with the shower. Okay, blood's going to keep coming out. Okay, but you can eliminate the shorts because the shorts have something on them that you're trying to hide. DNA, blood, sweat from someone else that might have beat him or that got transferred when you're taking him to the side of the highway to stage his body. Okay? You separate him from his phone because you want to cover the tracks of where Noah was. Where was he? What was he doing? Who was he with? That's why you separate him from his phone. Okay? You're getting rid of the digital DNA evidence. Okay? Same thing with the hat. It's got DNA on it. It's got blood because he was probably wearing it whenever whatever caused his injuries to his head. So you get rid of clothing, which is obvious, to hide DNA, blood, sweat, and DNA from the suspects, right? And that's why you shower him. And then you separate him from his phone so that nobody knows where it happened, where he died, whether he was beat or ATV or whatever happened, okay? But here's the $1 million question, okay? It all makes sense with these 4 pieces of evidence why you did it, okay? Why you went through all that trouble, okay? And in the picture, guys, you can clearly see he's barefooted, okay? Dirty feet, okay? So he was always barefooted, okay? That was common for Noah to not be wearing shoes, okay? Especially while they're partying. Okay, you can see he's barefooted. You can see this other girl over here. She's got some kind of shoes on. And then Breland's right there in front of him. He's got shoes on. Noah had no shoes. So that was just Noah's thing, not to have shoes, okay? So that's where the hey dudes come in. These shoes were put on him. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Caden's hey dude was put on him, and then he had the other Adidas supposedly on the other foot. So he had 2 mismatched shoes, one Adidas, one Hey Dude. Okay, what does the Hey Dude have on it already that everyone in the world knows that it has on it? Okay, if it was investigated properly, which we now see that the cops in Oklahoma didn't do their jobs. They didn't investigate. They didn't test this. They just assumed it was Noah's shoe and he had 2 mismatched shoes on, which is retarded. But if you would have tested it, you would have realized that it had Caden's DNA on it. Caden's sweat, Caden wore this shoe. It was his shoe. And it was now on a dead body. Okay? If you're Caden, you know this. Okay? Before Noah is found, okay? Because Caden and everybody at the party know that Noah is about to be found on the side of the road dead. They know this. Okay? So that moment leading up to that, when they know cops are about to come, okay, and the cops are about to investigate a dead body, okay, Caden's probably thinking, they're going to find my DNA on this shoe on Noah's body. Okay? So that's just kind of where we're at. So here's the question. Because you can clearly see Noah's always barefooted. Do you really believe, okay, especially after they say they had to give him a shower because, the girls had to give him a shower. He couldn't shower himself. He could barely stand. Okay? But suddenly we're supposed to believe he walked a mile down the road on his own. No. Okay? Now, don't you think that he would, if the story's true that he walked off, he would have just walked off barefooted? The answer is yes. He's always barefooted, guys. So there's no difference. He's used to being barefooted. So if he walked to cool off, he's going to be barefooted. So the evidence points to the fact that the shoes were put on him. Okay? But the question is, why? When you made sure to shower him, you made sure to separate him from his phone so there's no digital DNA tying him to location and his path of travel and who he is with, and then you make sure to remove his shorts, and God knows where the hell those are. You get rid of his hat, okay, which is another clue, because Jack texted his dad that somebody messed with his hat too. So wherever Noah's hat is probably where Jack's hat is. Okay, wherever it ended up, probably burned. But that's besides the point. So why do all of this? The shorts, the hat, separate him from his phone, give him a shower. Why do all that, guys? To cover up any traces and any evidence. Why would you do all that? And then put Caden's Hey Dude on him. Why? Caden's DNA is on this Hey Dude. And you put it right back on a naked body. Why? It was intentional. But for what reason? And I think I know the reason. But I'm going to leave you guys with that question. Why get rid of all of the other stuff and shower him and stage him on the side of the highway when he's known to be barefooted all the time? But for some reason, you have to put this shoe on him. You must put this shoe on him. This shoe needs to be on his foot when he's found dead. Why? What's the purpose, guys? What's the reason? What was someone trying to do? Because we know the body was staged. So why stage the shoe? Oh no, also. What is the reason? Let me know what y'all think, guys, because I'm going down a certain path here and I'm not going to reveal it yet. But I think once we get down that path, it's going to make a lot of sense and it's going to be very easy to understand. Because does it seem logical that you're trying to get rid of all traces of physical DNA and digital DNA, but then you go right back and contaminate the body of all the work you just did? You contaminate all of that by putting Caden's shoe back on him. Why? Why did that have to happen? It was a must. In someone's mind, it needed to happen. Why? Let me know what y'all think, guys.